You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, my goodness, this is going to peel back the curtain a good bit on the Paige Bueckers versus Caitlin Clark popularity and marketability scale. Oh, my goodness. Guys, when I told you this was not going to be close, this is not going to be close. And it's not close. The numbers are out, and they are eye-openingly different. And there is an actual grade attached to these, and then we'll look at sort of the breakdown of how that works, particularly when it comes to ad revenue, like sponsorships and things of that nature. Awareness, which is, do people know this person versus this person? And that is really eye-opening. So here we go. This is Sports Pro. They did this last year. I think I made a video on it. The league sometimes waits decades for a breakout star to join the ranks, but the WNBA may only have needed a year for another to arrive. The so-called Caitlin Clark effect that followed last year's #1 draft pick joining the Fever has been well documented. The 23-year-old powered the WNBA to record viewership and attendance during the 2024 campaign, culminating in the most-watched regular season in 24 years. The hype around Clark, who spearheaded an excited draft class, including Angel Reese and Cameron Brent, was justified. But she and the class of 2024 don't look like it's being a one-off. Goes on to talk about Paige Bueckers, selected #1 overall, the Dallas Wings. But how do the two players stack up against each other when it comes to marketability? Sports Pro dug up the data from the most recent edition of the annual ranking of the world's 50 most marketable athletes. Woof. The 2024 edition of the 50 most marketable athletes, partnership with North Star Solutions, placed Paige Bueckers 16th in the standing, with Caitlin Clark 4th, the only women's basketball player to finish higher. So Paige Bueckers was second. The problem was she was 12 spots behind Caitlin Clark. Bueckers registered a total marketability score of 81.18 out of 100 compared to Clark's 90.26 out of 100. North Star's three-pillar scoring system consists of brand strength, total addressable market, and economies. To determine each athlete's marketability, saw Clark outdo Bueckers across each category. So there was 3 categories. Caitlin Clark, unsurprisingly, dominated her in all 3. So right here, you can see Caitlin Clark's behind. She's just behind LeBron. LeBron is 3. Caitlin Clark is 4. And it's close. She's literally 1 point in all 3 of these categories: athletic, brand strength, total marketability, economics. She's 1 point behind LeBron James. Paige Bueckers, 81.18, right there. So that brings us down. I want to get to brand and engagement. An eye-catching year earned Clark a 23.85 out of a 25 in the Athlete Trending Buzz Driver, which is the second highest among female athletes in the top 50, beaten only overall by the #1 person on the list, Simone Biles. By the way, it should be pointed out, #1, the Olympics was last year. #2, where would that have been if Caitlin Clark would have made the Olympic team? My gut feeling is she would be #1. All right? That's just my gut feeling. Bueckers had to settle for an 18.425 out of 25, suggesting she generated less buzz during the rankings evaluation period of the 1st of September 2023 to the 1st of September 2024, though she has a good chance of increasing entering the WNBA. Are we sure about that? Are we sure about that? Because, look, college basketball ratings are pretty high compared to the WNBA. So I wonder about that. Both scored highly when it comes to audience engagement, 23.85 for Clark out of 25, marginally better than 22.86 for Bueckers. The two have hefty social media followings. Clark's 3.1 million Instagram followers, about 800,000 higher than Bueckers on the total platform. Bueckers, though, boasts 3.6 million followers on TikTok, typically the platform for younger audiences, compared to Clark's comparatively modest 655,000. I've got to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen anything original on TikTok from Caitlin Clark. Maybe she's put something on there, maybe she has. I just haven't seen it. Okay? So, sponsor awareness. Clark racks up a perfect 10 out of 10 for brand risk and reputation, with Bueckers achieving a strong 9 out of 10. For context, perhaps unsurprisingly, both scored higher in this driver than the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Neymar and Novak Djokovic. Bueckers trumps Clark in the athlete market value ROI score driver, 10.39 out of 20. However, the tables are turned for sponsor awareness and athlete score, with Clark accruing 9.08 out of 15 to Bueckers' lowly 6.69. Not even 1. 0.69 out of 15. Yikes. Yikes. That is absolutely nuts. Bueckers' strong social media presence, name recognition, already secured her a lucrative deal, name, image, likeness through UConn. These partnerships include Nike. Well, here's the problem for all of this. Nike has largely sat on their ass when it comes to Caitlin Clark. So I'm just pointing that out. Caitlin Clark already boasted partnerships with the likes of Nike, Gatorade, Gamebridge, Panani, State Farm, and Xfinity before she signed with the Fever. And it goes on to talk about when she arrived, she signed with Wilson, the basketball company. And then it goes on to talk about ratings. But so that's pretty clear. That was a lot of data there. Long story short, Caitlin Clark ranked 4th, Paige Bueckers ranked 16th. That's a big damn difference. It is. And I venture to say, where would Caitlin Clark have been if she would have made the Olympics? All right? That's why you're seeing Simone Biles at 1, because I've said I think Caitlin Clark's the most popular female athlete that there is. But there's no doubt, one thing, that Team USA uniform, it hurt her some. Okay, and in not being able to take it to quite that next level. Guys, when she makes the Olympics, holy crap, what it's going to do for her, because, yeah, that is a big deal. Team USA, gold medal, all of that. It's going to be a big deal. I said she would have had the highest ratings in the Olympics, television ratings, if they'd have put her on that team. The Olympic team fumbled that. Don't forget, Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, said, I would have liked to have seen her on that team. He's not dumb. He knows what that could have done for the NBA and WNBA. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.